Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is 11 o'clock a.m. Central on Sunday. Um, I have not been here in a while. Probably it's been a couple months. Um, I fell down the stairs on December 7th and fractured my ankle in a couple of places. I had to have surgery on December 24th. And a couple of weeks after that, I was hospitalized for pulmonary embolism. So I haven't been here for a while. I've been just trying to heal, and I know it was just difficult to try to work on acrylics in front of my easel while I was still while I still have the fractured ankle. But I still have the fractured ankle. Well, I have a boot on my ankle, so I'm able to kind of get around a little bit. Um, Before I was pretty much sitting up on the couch doing work from the couch, and basically I had to have my leg pretty much elevated most of the day. So I've been gone for a while, and it's February 8th, and I'm ready to dive back in. Um, I today, oh, every live stream is a part of my podcast, Brushstrokes and Beyond on YouTube. So anytime you tune into the live stream, the recording, or whatever, it is also uh, another episode for the podcast, Brushstrokes and Beyond. So if you subscribe, you'll get notified of the live stream, hopefully, but you should also get notified of the podcast, each podcast episode release of Brushstrokes and Beyond. So I hope you subscribe. Today, I decided to kind of resume working on this Chicago skyline, and I hope you can see it. Let me see if I can. Here we go. You can see it better now. So while I've been um, healing and recovering, I've been working on oil pastels. They've been an easy medium for me to pretty much draw in my lap. And so the pastels are portable, and you don't have to be at an easel to use them. So I've been pretty much using oil pastels, and I've created 4 Chicago skylines so far. So this is the first one that I'm doing in acrylic and on canvas. The other skylines are on paper. And if you're interested in my skylines, they've been listed in my store and on eBay. And the way you access my store is by going to JulineAllensArt.com, and I'll leave the link in the description so you'll have that. But today, I'm going to do a couple of things on the skyline. So while I've been recovering, probably about a couple weeks ago, I started the skyline, and I haven't been able to finish. I've just been pretty much working with oil pastels. see. And as you can see, it has this abstract sky. This abstract sky with, it's like pastel colors and it's multicolors. And this is, of course, the skyline. And then this is going to be, this portion down here is going to be water. So I already kind of mapped out, give me 1 second. I am looking for my towel. I guess I'm going to be without one today. Guess I shouldn't have moved that. One second. I guess I'm going to be without a towel today. I am looking for one. Here we go. So I kind of mapped out the colors of the buildings. Want it to be multicolor, like a rainbow. I have to tell you, it's kind of difficult working um, in these small spaces because some of these buildings are kind of small. And I was thinking that I needed probably some acrylic markers because it would help me get it would help me work on the fine details, the smaller buildings in between other buildings. So I just kind of reached into my toolkit of brushes to see what brushes would probably work for small details. And it's the buildings are going to be like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Basically, every color that is in the spectrum of a rainbow. And then the taller buildings are going to be other colors, probably black. The key towers in the skyline are going to be black. So I hope you are having a terrific day. if you're tuning into the recording, um, I'm wondering, are you an artist yourself? Are you here to learn about art? Or you're here to get inspired? And I must say that I am an intermediate artist. I've been painting for several years, um, but I'm not at the skill level that I would like to be yet. And I'm still learning a lot about my style. So I am, my art consists of a variation of things. Um, I started off creating portraits of famous women, women that are here, women that are no longer here. I started off creating portraits of women. I next, my next venture was painting on furniture, putting artwork on furniture. Um, and then I had this apartment in Indianapolis. I lived in this building for artists, and I turned everything in my apartment into art. So I kind of played around with different mediums. Epoxy resin was one of them, and I made quite a few tables using epoxy resin. Um, and they're in my home still to this day. Um, and I stopped painting for a couple years. I would say 2 to 3 years. And then back in 2025, I started painting again. I started taking different classes. And then I said to myself that this was something that I knew that I wanted to pursue. And that was art, uh, creating art and creating lots of art. So I launched a website, JaleneAllensArt.com, and I painted quite a bit in 2025, towards the end of 2025. And then since my injury, I've been pretty much creating every day. Um, I take Saturdays off, but I pretty much, if I do paint on Saturdays, it's just, it's not to list anything in my store. It's just to, as a meditative practice, something that is fun, not nothing that requires perfection. Um, and so I might paint on Saturdays, sometimes I don't, but I pretty much incorporate working on something every day. And so I have red, orange, yellow, a red, orange, yellow building. Let's see. So I also launched an eBay store, and my goal is to have 250 listings. So that's quite a bit of art. And I talked to AI about it, and AI said at this rate, out by October, I'll have 250 listings. And of course, I want to have 250 listings before October. So I'm trying to figure out how to speed up that process without suffering from burnout. So I want to create and still create, and that creative process is still enjoyable, uh, and I don't want to burn out. So um, and I want to have breaks, take breaks, like take Saturdays off. But I've been trying to work out ways that I can list more items throughout the week. Um, some weeks I list more, some weeks I don't. So this building is the Willis Tower, and it's going to be black, but the highlights are going to be colorful on the building. So one thing about doing these live streams, I have trouble talking and painting at this and painting and talking and painting at the same time. So interesting enough, I plan these live streams at 11 a.m. Central, so that because I'm a big Bears fan, I plan them before the games. And I watch the Bears game. Sometimes it comes on at noon, and sometimes it comes on later. But now today is the Super Bowl, so this is the last football game of the season. So I plan my last live. I mean, my returning live stream on the last game of the season, if that makes sense. And I'm struggling getting making sharp edges. So I might have to change brushes. I'm gonna get out my Q-tip here because I want to rub off paint that got on parts of the sky. And one thing about acrylic paint, like it's on, I use these paper plates and I use it as a palette. And my acrylic paint dries so fast. Kind of frustrating. So I'm gonna bring it close. That's what I have so far. Looks very flat because there's no highlights yet, but I'm going straight down the row. That's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna come back and add highlights. And I may use a pencil to get I think it's antennas on top of the Willis Tower, the Trump Tower, the John Hancock Building. So the Cranes Communication Building, which is this building right here, I'm wondering, because it's a key building in the Chicago skyline. So I'm wondering, I'm pretty much painting all the key buildings black. So I'm wondering, do I want to paint it black or not? So I'm trying to decide. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying working with oil pastels, and it's been a learning journey because I've worked with soft pastels in the past. Like a lot of my feminist portraits are in soft pastels, but oil pastels are different, similar in a way, but they're different because they have it's a different medium. One is made of oil, and the other, I don't know what soft pastels are made of. But soft pastels are very chalky, and oil pastels are oily. I think with a little wax in it, but it's mostly made of oils. And it's a medium that never dries, so it never fully dries. So Um, it has sometimes it has some of the most saturated colors, but you have to basically any painting that's created in oil pastels or soft pastels, you have to frame behind glass. And the glass is preferred is per, for the optimum experience. It's good to have a mat between the glass and the artwork, but it's definitely a medium that you have to frame. Um, but I really like it because um, the colors are so can be so bright, and I really enjoy working with oil pastels. And if I had to advise any artist that's starting out for the first time, I would say try different mediums. I've worked with everything. I won't say I work with everything, but I've worked with watercolors. I've worked with soft pastels, oil pastels, acrylics. Um, I've even worked with chalk paints. That's a total different medium made for furniture, but you can also paint your walls with it. And I've created artwork with chalk paints. Um, but I would advise you to try out different mediums because they're all different, and they all have um, their unique qualities. Like oil pastels, the colors are so bright, and it's both a drawing and painting medium. But just like um, it's also a drawing medium, and you have more control over um, the medium than I would say a paintbrush. But not all artists will say that because it's basically up to the individual. But it's a medium that you can draw with, and that's what's so interesting about it. But some people say that oil pastel is a painting medium. It can be both because you do a lot of blending with your fingers or with different tools with oil pastels and soft pastels. But I would say try different things and see what you like. And um, some tools, some mediums have their strengths and others have their weakness. Like acrylics dry fast, and that's kind of annoying. But oil paints dry slow, and that could be kind of annoying. So it just really depends. But they all have their strengths. So oil paints, I um, haven't used oil paints yet, but oil paints, from my understanding, uh, can have some really realistic effects. But I've seen people who use acrylic and oil paints, and their paintings in oils and acrylics both look realistic. So it's to each his own. I hope that made sense. Well, it's 11:31, and I've gotten one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 buildings done in this short amount of time. But I'm going to be working on this a little bit today. I don't know if I'll be working on this next Sunday. We'll see. Um, I might leave this for next Sunday. But like I said, we'll see. So subscribe to get notifications of my live streams and notifications of the podcast Brushstrokes and Beyond. If I inspire you to create, or if I inspire you, maybe you're not necessarily someone that creates art. Maybe you create music. Maybe you're an entertainer. If I inspire you in some way, um, leave me a note, leave me a comment. Um, and if you have any questions about my artwork, you can leave me a comment. You can log on to JaleneAllensArt.com to see more of my art. And if you would like a link to my eBay page or my eBay store, just drop me a comment and I'll forward you the link. I'm also on social media as Jalene Allens Art, and that's JuleneAllensArt. And I'll leave that in the description as well. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And if you get to watch the Super Bowl game, enjoy. I'll see you soon.